All right, guys. So I just got back from like 4 days in Montana. It was amazing. I hosted a bachelor party for one of my best friends. Such a great experience. And one of the things I was reminded of is just how important it is to unplug and have time with friends. I know it's so cliche, but we had a group of, I think it was 13 entrepreneurs. Everyone has a business of some sort. And it's really easy to get on this hamster wheel of just grinding and kind of being in your little lane. Everyone was like, dude, this is what life's about. This is what life's about. So it doesn't have to come down to a big celebration or a big reason as to why you should get together with your friends. Be the proactive one in the group. Spearhead, getting your friends together, have some intimate time. I think ultimately it's really easy to, once you have a partner, to do it with your partner, and that's fine. But I think there needs to be sacred time for guys to be with guys and girls to be with girls. This is an all guys trip. We competed, talked shit the whole time. We ate steaks. We went on boats. Like we just did stuff that filled up our cup. Those 4 days, we got to be like little 12-year-olds running around. And it was so refreshing. And that's not just a guy thing. I think we need time with our little tribe of men or women. And then we need to kind of co-mesh and co-integrate together as well. By the way, if you guys want to go to the most beautiful place I think I've ever been to, or up there in the country, in the US, Whitefish, Montana, Glacier National Park. What an amazing place. People are amazing. Food's amazing. A 10 out of 10, highly would recommend. If I wasn't moving to Bali, I would honestly contemplate living 6 months a year there because it's so great. So great. Now, one of the things that's been big in my life, actually for the last 2 weeks, I would say, is breathwork. Now, I've gone through different stints in my life of doing breathwork, and I've done hour-long breathwork sessions, and I've done small little bouts here and there, but I've never really built a consistent habit. And every time I do it, I'm a new man. I'm a better man because of it. I'm a clean slate, but I've never held that habit. And so what I've been doing is twice per day breathwork sessions, ranging from 8 minutes to 30 minutes, maybe 25 minutes at the most, twice per day. So in the morning, I read for about an hour and a half or so, 2 hours on a great day. I'll do my breath work and then I'll jump into it. And I know there's so much freaking goofiness online about people making fun of those with a morning routine, the stereotypical entrepreneur doing breath work and ice fast. But honestly, there's a sliver of truth to it. It is so valuable. And honestly, breath work is valuable on a level beyond just the increased productivity or kind of playing that classic entrepreneurial role. What it allows us to do is shed the weight, quiet our mind, get the ego to go to the side and tap into our soul, tap into our intuition. It quiets the mind in a way that you would have to spend hours meditating to get to. It's right there just waiting for you. Now, partially it's because DMT is released in your pineal gland, some of it's stored in your lungs. You get this surge of almost a bit of a psychedelic experience, but in a very grounded, controlled way. And for me, it just puts everything back into perspective. Juggling the balls of 3 different businesses, it's so easy to let that monkey mind just chatter, 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 chatter. And ultimately, you quickly become your worst enemy. You are the roadblock. You are the one getting in the way with your fears, your desires, the stress, the worry, and this just holding right back down to reality. Now, there's a lot of different modalities you guys can try. I typically go holotropic breathing. So this is what the holotropic breath work would look like. I typically be laying on the floor. We're going to use our mouth, okay? And we're going to fill up the bottom of our stomach. We're going to fill up, fill up, fill up, fill up, and then just let the air fall out. So you're going to do that for anywhere from 25 to maybe 35 breaths. You're going to do a big breath retention, typically for about 30 seconds. Let it all out. And we're going to hold. Now we're going to stagger those holds and we're going to stair step higher. So your first hold might be 30 seconds. Then on the next round, maybe a minute. The next round, a minute and a half. And you keep on building up. The closest I've gotten is about 3 minutes. I was a little under 3 minutes. But it's amazing what can happen as you start to kind of incrementally, just in that session, raise it. And your mind starts to quiet. You start to find comfort in it. That little fear of running out of breath starts to silence a little bit more. And you just stay present. You stay grounded. That's an amazing breathwork experience. Now you're going to get some tingling in your face and your hands. Honestly, I think it feels amazing, but don't be worried. That's really, really, really common. Now there's a few other variations you can try. One of them would be in through the nose, out through the mouth. And because there's more resistance with the nose, you can actually pull more air in. So it's a little shallow breathing through your mouth, of course, but I also like breathing through my mouth as well. So you're going to fill up from the bottom here, fill up, fill up, fill up, fill up. And now when I just let it fall out of my mouth, I don't want to force it out. Let it fall out, pull, let it fall out. Now in that kind of 25 or 35 breath section, I might do half that's very slow. So I'm going to do a little faster, a little shallower, and I might kind of just vary it a bit, right? Just kind of bounce around. One of the other modalities that I use is breath of fire. So all through the nose, just this kind of short, powerful breaths give you a bit of a surge of energy. There's a lot of different breathing techniques out there. These have been around for thousands of years. Wim Hof is one of the variations, but honestly, it's just kind of a reincarnation of what's already existed. Now, look, if you are going through stress in your life, you feel lost, you feel confused, I think it's one of the best things that you can do because it quiets this monkey mind. And leading into my second point, allows you to listen to your intuition. There is a voice inside of you that is so intelligent, a voice inside of you that knows exactly what you should be doing in this moment, knowing exactly what's in alignment for you. But in this modern world, that stuff is turned the fuck off. We're shut down. We're numb to it. And so something like breathwork, which is one of the many modalities that you can use, allows us to pull back our intuition. That's why I said, if you're lost or if you're confused, getting out of this logical, trying to pragmatize your way through making decisions, allowing that intuition to come back to you. And it's just so interesting. I don't know where that inner knowingness comes from, but it's there. And life makes so much more sense when you can operate off of your intuition. And I'm not saying breath work is the only way to get there, but it's been really profound for me for a number of reasons. Try it out. Just go on YouTube, Google breath work, watch a video or two, do it guided, get in a quiet place. I like to lay down on my back and have a time. Now, I'm not going to play games with y'all, be honest with you guys. I did this weekend experiment with a little bit of mushrooms, as it were. I like to do it every, I'd say 1 to 2 years. Okay. I like to kind of step out of my own mind, my ego, my body. I step out of who Sumner is and cleanse myself, refresh, get a new perspective. I just did a little small something this weekend. And honestly, I don't even find the experience enjoyable, to be totally frank. Like, I don't get a thrill from psychedelics. I actually find it laborious. I'm actually always kind of excited for it to be over, but I do find profound long-term benefits from it. Profound parts of the person of who I am, my worldviews, my beliefs. A lot of that has been founded through stepping outside of myself. And there's a lot of ways to do that. And by no means you need to do psychedelics. My goodness, I would not recommend it to anyone. It's very much a personal thing. Again, there's a lot of other modalities that you can use, but it's been, said, profound. Now, one of the things I was thinking about and talking about was actually with my lawyer this weekend, and we both were experimenting, as it were, just in a very safe setting. We were on a boat, we had a private driver, hanging out in Montana, having the time of our life. My boy and I, my lawyer, are kind of talking about just some life things, right? And one of the things that we're talking about is like, it's really interesting. There's kind of tiers that we go through as an entrepreneur. There's levels. I imagine kind of like a video game, right? Now, when you come in the beginning, the level that you play on, your character has no skills, your health meter's low, you have the worst weapons. And so to get through that initial level and beat that initial boss, the only way you can do it is by gritting your teeth. Okay. That's the only way to get to level 2 and 3 and 4. You've got to grit your teeth and you've got to go to war because you are undercapitalized. You don't know what the hell you're doing. Like, so many things stacked against you that gritting your teeth is the only way. Now, this is called escape velocity, right? Like, imagine getting a rocket out of the Earth's orbit or the Earth's atmosphere. You need a lot of energy to get out. But once you're out, kind of chilling, right? Like Apollo 8, once they were out of the Earth's atmosphere, they're going 24,000 miles an hour going to the moon. Pretty chill, right? That's about the circumference of the Earth that they were going every hour. And I believe that stat to be true, although someone might fact check me on that. Okay, cool. So you make it to level 4, right? Let's say you're 3, 4, 5 years in. Now it's a different game. Now it's like, it actually takes such a small amount of work from your part to keep the ball going. Like, people don't understand that. People think like entrepreneurship is this just brutal grind, and it is initially. But the middle stage of being an entrepreneur is a cakewalk. Like, if you've gotten to that point and you've got product market fit and you've got a team and you know how to fulfill and like things are working, to stay in motion, it's shockingly easy. In fact, that's why a lot of people that I know that are at that stage of their entrepreneurial journey have these midlife crises or have these existential crises, because you've been in this mode of working so hard. And now it's like, I could work an hour a day and everything would still run. And it's just kind of messes with your head, right? So this is a very natural thing. Pretty much everyone that's been in the game long enough gets there. And then it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe what I should do is go get to the next level. Okay. That gave me fulfillment in the beginning. Maybe I should go to get to level 5 and 6 and keep on going. And I'm going to get out of this existential crisis by just working my way out of it and getting back into this place of momentum. Problem is, you want to go from level 5 to level 10. It ain't chill in most cases. It's that you're going back to the grit your teeth mode, especially if you're trying to get somewhere in a timely manner. So it's this very interesting phenomenon. It's like, to get from level 1 to 2, grit your teeth. 2 to 4, chill as hell. 4 to 10, grit your teeth again. And you look at these people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or fill in the blank, and really think a lot of these guys are in this perpetual state of gritting their teeth. I don't think they're in flow, and they might enjoy what they're doing, but I don't think this is like a flowy, fun experience. Like they could have had that flowy, fun experience and kept their businesses at whatever, I don't know, $20 million a year. But to get to billions or hundreds of billions, and that is a brutal game. Brutal. It's a slog. It's a grit your teeth nonstop. And that's admirable. And it's crazy to think that someone dedicated their life to it. But in the same vein, when you're on your deathbed, did you want to live your whole life just gritting your teeth? So it's just fine balance that you try to find when you're a few years into this game. And I know it's a luxury to have this problem, of course, but it's like, you don't want to be a lazy POS and not grow at all. But also, you don't want to just grit your teeth and try to play the same game that you were playing in the beginning. Both are horrible alternatives. There was a book I read a few years ago that really stuck out to me called Small Giants. Ultimately, it's about businesses that could have been big that decided to stay small. They decided to focus on quality over quantity, both in terms of their service or their product or the number of customers they work with. And it was really inspiring to me. It was just inspiring to know that there's not just this on-off switch in business. It's either like you're suffering or you're not growing or you're scaling. Like that's the only two options that are presented to us. And scale is not the answer for everyone. And I think you can still grow, but at a slower clip. And you can grow at your own pace. And that's okay. Totally okay. No one talks about that. And in the entrepreneurial world, it's like, it's scale at all costs. It's grow, 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 grow. But it never gets easier to grow. Growing is inherently painful. It's the same thing with lifting weights. It's like to build muscle initially is so hard. To maintain that muscle is actually really chill. But to build more muscle is really hard. In fact, it might even be harder than the beginning. It's so hard. It's so hard. Do you want to just dedicate your life to this game of doing hard things just to make money? No. Hard things are beautiful, but hard things just to make money are stupid as fuck. Stupid. Now I'm reading a book right now about these guys in the 60s that sailed around the world without stopping once. Never stopped at a port, never stopped on land, by themselves, single-handedly sailing these boats. That's hard and that's impressive to me. But just hard to make more money is such a stupid pursuit, in my opinion. And I've had this belief for a long, 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 long time. But talking about it to someone else while in a more malleable state really reinforced it. One of the things that's been really exciting for me for the last couple of weeks, again, this goes back to the hard. Like you need hard in your life. You can't evade hard. You need to create obstacles for yourself. But these ding-dongs in the business space that only create business obstacles are missing the point. And you meet these people in person and they're a shell of a human. They're creatures, they're reptilians. You know, you can't just play this game for more money, scale, 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 scale. That is a fool's errand, but we still need to create hard in our life. Now, one of the hards that I've been creating is learning to fight and fighting, sparring and experiencing that. And it's so challenging, man. And it's not just boxing. I've been experimenting with a little bit of everything, minus BJJ. I haven't really gotten to that, but I'd say more like Muay Thai, kickboxing, and just standard boxing. Been sparring pretty much every Sunday with my friends. Sometimes I've missed it. We go to each other's house. We go to a park. We square up and we just duke it out. We don't know anything about what we're doing. There's like maybe 2 guys in the group that are actually pretty good and everyone else is a total noob. And we're going, look at 40, 50%, 30%. You know, like we're not like just trying to fucking nail each other, but you get clipped a few times and you definitely get your bell rung. And it's been so fun. My God, do I love fighting. And I'm just wondering, I'm like, I think that's just inherent in us as humans. I think I woke up something that has been in me for a long time that I didn't know how to express. And there's just such a beauty and a joy in fighting. Now, I'm not talking about going and picking fights and being a bully. I'm talking about the art of fighting. I'm talking about the fact that this is deep in our DNA to fight and to compete and to push ourselves and to protect. I don't know, there's just something about it that physically is so appealing and emotionally so appealing to me. And it's such a deep relief to take that energy out of you. And one of the things that I've learned in the last couple of years is that like energy lives in you. You've got to have a release for it, right? So if you've got this pent up aggression or unresolved energy, that goes somewhere in you and it creates something, typically not a good thing. You've got to have a place to go and release that. And fighting is one of the greatest releases I've ever experienced. No, it's not going to solve all your problems in life, but I love fighting. And I think as a man in particular, you need to know how to protect yourself and protect your domain, your people, your tribe. It's an important thing to know how to do. And you move through the world different, knowing that you can protect yourself and you can defend those that you love. And I'll never forget this story, and I'll get intimate with you guys. There was a situation when I was probably 23 years old, maybe, yeah, 23, something like that, maybe 24. And I was in San Diego. I had my little sister visiting. I had my ex-girlfriend, who was my girlfriend at the time, of course. And I had one of our friends with us. She was also a girl. We're in line to get Panda Express. And this fucking drunk psycho, dude. This guy was just way off his rocker. And he walks up, he's standing in line in front of us. And he turns around and he tries to hit on the girl that's with us, the friend of ours. Her name's Gabby. And he tries to like make some weird pass. And she says no. And he like flips out. So, well, fuck you, B word, this. I remember I stepped in. I'm like, dude, chill. Like, get out of here. Like, stop. Stepped in the middle of them. And this guy was like, you could tell that this is the guy who's looking for a fight. So it's like, at the same time, I don't want to pick a fight. And I'm also not going to back down from trying to tell this guy, like, hey, there's a boundary here. Don't cross it. But I remember thinking, like, if I got into a fight here, my only option would be just to fight with heart. Like, I would have no idea what I was doing. Like, I would just give it everything I got. And I guarantee that's going to end in a terrible beating for the both of us. Like, it would have been ugly. And here's a guy that's looking for a fight. He's fired up for a fight. I mean, he just can't wait for it. And I remember thinking, like, I wish I had the skills to physically de-escalate the situation if I have to. So imagine this guy, I'm not going to throw the first punch. I'm not going to instigate. Imagine this guy tries to step up on me. I wish I knew how to tell him, look at fuck off, but not hurt him. My big fear is that what if I hit him and the guy falls and hits his head on the pavement or something? I just remember feeling so inadequate, and I hated that feeling. And what was so interesting is we're in this line for Panda Express. It's during COVID, so the line is out the door. Probably 15 other people in that line. Not a single person in that line stepped up or said anything. They just watched. Because I guarantee you they were feeling the same way that I was feeling, not knowing what the fuck to do. It's like, I don't want to intervene and hurt someone, but if I have to, I will. But also, it's going to be chaos. I think that's really where BJJ comes in. It's such an amazing skill to de-escalate without really hurting someone. But I look back and I'm like, damn, I wish I handled that different. Like, it has kind of hung over my head. And there's only one time I got into like a real fight as an adult. It wasn't even a real fight. I remember I got into a fist fight as a kid. I was like in 4th grade. I don't know why. We were just kind of wailing on each other. And growing up, my cousins and I would fight a lot. I had like 12 cousins. All of them but one were guys. So, and we're all pretty much the same age. We would get together, and my cousin and I, who were younger, they would just pin us up in a room and just make fight to the death. I mean, we would just go at it, and we would throw fists. We would start crying halfway through, but we'd keep on going. I mean, it was, yeah, we had a little bit of experience, but it was always like with people that were friends or something like that. The only other time was in New York City. I'm really getting unhinged on this video here today. I was in New York City. It was New Year's Eve. This was like 2019 or 18, something like that. And somehow we got into this club last minute. Our friends got us in. I'm not a drinker. I never drink. I haven't drinking in like the last probably year and a half. But I was young. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I've always had a really low tolerance to alcohol. So I started drinking some alcohol. I got way too drunk. I was drinking shots. So I just got blasted. And we were in like this little VIP section. Our friend got us into this VIP section. And there were some girls that we were talking to. And I remember us leaning up against this railing. And beneath the railing in like the general admission section, these guys walked up and they're like just talking shit and saying something. I guess they were friends with the girls that we're talking to. I don't remember much because I was pretty blacked out, but I remember pulling on my shirt a little bit. I just remember hopping over the railing, which maybe just a couple feet down. I remember just shoving the guy as hard as I could. And like security came and grabbed me, like pulled me, and then they escorted me outside. And I fell asleep in an alleyway. My friend came and picked me up 2 hours later. That was actually the catalyst for my next relationship. I'm getting really TMI here. One of my friends took a video of me sleeping in this alleyway. I didn't sleep all night there. I was just there for like an hour or two. But in the middle of winter in New York City, just knocked out. He took a video of me sleeping in this alleyway. And this girl reached out to it and said like, oh, whatever. Let me get this guy's number, blah, 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 which is so funny. It's the weirdest video. And that was actually the spark for a 3-year relationship that sparked off of that. And then ended up moving to San Diego and yada, 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 yada. So anyways, I've had very, very little experience in that domain. And I think that's probably a good thing, but I want to feel competent. I want to feel capable. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to pick fights, but I want to be able to have the skill to de-escalate, heaven forbid, if I have to. And I also lost $50,000 on 2 cars that we're selling. It sucks, honestly. It's actually, the number's higher than that, but let's just say $50,000. Sucks, man. Sucks. I am, in a lot of ways, a terrible investor. I thought I was buying these things right. It was a Tesla and an M2 competition. I bought them used and buy them new. I thought I did everything right. I'm like, at least going to be great deals. And we're moving to Bali, and it was trying to sell them. It's just such a pain in the butt. Selling cars is a terrible experience. I go into Carvana, I put up Carvana, and it's just, yeah, just smoked, just destroyed on these things. Also, I'm selling a Ford Fiesta ST, so factor that in. Oddly, that one, that as a percentage, they gave me a better offer on, which doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so I'm swapping all my cars. I'm just going to go motorcycles in Bali. I'm getting a cafe racer. You can get a cafe racer custom built for like less than $10,000. Crazy. Hand built, custom built. Getting a little Vespa for Sarah, probably like a pink or baby blue Vespa, and then a 250cc dirt bike. There's amazing dirt biking in Bali. And it's sick because like the way it works in Bali, the traffic's crazy, right? There's in some points, there's thousands of bikes at intersections or on like the highways. And you can just go up on the side, hit the curb, go into the dirt, just pass everyone. And I had a little 150cc dirt bike when I was there, and it's the cheat code. It's so sick, man. I'm fired up. But yeah, it's crazy what bad investments cars are. It's crazy what a terrible experience selling cars are. And I can't believe I fell into the trap of buying luxury cars. I think you just have to assume you're probably going to lose money. Now, I know there's some car hackers out there, and that's all great. I've never been able to do that. Also, I had a very compressed timeline to get these sold. But there was literally some of these companies that I used that were like kind of like a Carvana, but for junkers. Okay. So I had a car in my driveway, Ford Fiesta ST, and needed a new battery. I went and just installed the battery today. But I wanted to see, I'm like, look, if someone takes it without me putting a battery in it, what am I going to get? Let's just try to hit the easy button and see how easy it really is. So I bought that car, I think for like 18,000. I think it's probably worth about the same, honestly. It hasn't really depreciated much. It's in great condition, it's 46,000 miles, 6-speed manual. It's a stage 2, it's tuned, resonator delete. It's a cool little car. Carvana offered me $9,000. So they're offering about 50% of what it's worth. Okay. So kind of crazy. Then I just go to one of these junker websites. I'm like, let me just see. Okay. Let me just see what they give me. $850 is what they offered me for an $18,000 car just because the battery was dead on it. I'm a criminal, but I could see how you could get to a point. Like if I had to do this days before moving, their option. I mean, damn, like we think we buy things at a discount in the land business. These guys are literally the car at like 5% of what it's worth retail. It's a crazy business model. I forget the name of it, but it was a CarMax competitor. There's a bunch of these CarMax Carvana competitors, but they specialize in a very little niche, which is cars that don't start, essentially cars that they'll come in tow for whatever reason. And the offers they make are just bananas. So yeah, kind of unfortunate, but I got to get to Bali the next week and a half. So you got to do what you got to do. And the last thing that I've been thinking about is inside of Land Insights and Leah, I've seen this for a long time, but it's been reinforced that the real needle mover for people's success is they can stay accountable to the goals they outline. Now, the cool thing is like this business is so simple. It's like inputs get the outputs, inputs get the outputs, input get the outputs. But where people go wrong and they become their own worst enemies, they don't stick to the inputs that they commit to. So they say, I'm going to do 10,000 mailers a month. And the amateurs, they don't do 10,000 mailers a month. They miss it. Or I'm going to follow this acquisition cadence that's been spelled out for me, and then they don't do it. The professionals, well, they stick to it. That's why there's such a disparity in results in this business. That's why there's folks that will do $1 million their first year inside of Leah this year. And there's folks that will do $100,000 the first year in Leah this year. They've got the same access to information. They're presumably working about the same amount of time, and capital is not really the needle mover here. Like most people inside of Leah have at least $10,000 or more. Capital is not the needle mover. It's can they stay accountable to the goals that they've outlined to themselves? Can they stay accountable to the system and process outlined inside of Leah? It's that simple. Now, I can talk about this till I'm blue in the face, but I've been trying to think about a solution to engineer accountability within Land Insights. Now, inside of Leah, we collect people's KPIs for folks that are on our 6-figure land investing guarantee. Every month, they report their KPIs to us. Now, that's a form of accountability. But what I want to build is like an AI system, call it like, I don't know, Land Insights Linda or something. Well, we can keep everyone on track for what their goals are and have like your own personalized AI accountability assistant. Because it sounds so dumb. Like for someone that's hyper proficient and takes this serious like a professional, it sounds like, why would you need this? But the vast majority of people that struggle in this business is because they can't stay accountable to themselves or to the plan laid in front of them. Now, I'm not saying that's their fault. I'm saying humans are built different. Like, okay, we all need different things. But how can I engineer guardrails to make that really easy? But how can I do it at scale? And that's a problem I've been trying to think about, problem I've been trying to solve. Because for the demographic that we work with, right? People that are a few years or under in this business, 90% of them need that. And we get 10% that are just these savages. They've come in and they're just ready to execute. And they're like a bull in a china shop. Nothing's getting in their way. But they are the exception, not the rule. So how can I create things to make this better for everyone? If you got any suggestions, ideas, put them down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video of me just rambling about nonsense. Opened up a little bit, got personal. I got a lot of random stories to tell you guys. If you ever want to talk about stories, I got a lot of stories that I'd love to share. And yeah, appreciate you guys. I know this is not really land investing related. I don't give a hoot. I'm here to share, and hopefully it's valuable. Thank y'all.